All right. Well, I'm working on a Nebraska Cornhusker Michigan video. I probably won't put it up until tomorrow or Monday. There's just a lot of information. They definitely coded it a different way. Totally coded. Definitely, it's coded with the number 35 and 53. But anyway, I just wanted to put this video out real quick too. I watched the Pope Francis speech or whatever at Independence Hall, and maybe other people have talked about it, but I just want to point out a few things about it. Anyway, well, I'll just play a little clip here and just listen to what they say.
The doll. Yeah, I mean, it's probably worth saying that, in a few moments we're going to see Pope Francis stand in that famous lectern from which Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, speak to this vast crowd on very important issues, religious freedom.
So they're talking about how he's going to give his speech on the famous lectern that Abraham Lincoln used during his Gettysburg Address. Just, again, they're connecting it to Abraham Lincoln like crazy. So I pulled up an article just to make sure to see whatever. So here's an article just explaining it. Pope Francis to use Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address lectern for Independence Hall speech. So this is in Philadelphia. And it all connects to the Nebraska stuff. I'm telling you, even the word Catholic is 35 and 71 in Gematria. And, the Pope is Catholic. There's a ton of stuff with it. I'll probably make like a 2 or 3 part video. There's so much information on these last 2 games. Right now I'm trying to watch the Michigan game, and, Michigan shut out BYU. Wow, it's just crazy. 31 and whatever. I'll show you. I'm sorry for rambling, but just wanted to prove that he used Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address lectern. Anyway, on this video, look when he actually goes in to Independence Hall. Look at the time, 4:33 p.m. So let's watch it. The Nebraska just set the consecutive home sellout streak to 343. He actually goes in at 4:33 here, though. But just watch. So he goes in. It's also 1:33 p.m. Pacific time, 13:03, right? Just like the day that he became Pope.
In those moments when he has the splitting moments, when he has the opportunity to be one-on-one or in small groups.
So he went in at 4:33 or 1:33, depending on these times they keep showing you. They're not showing you Central Time. They're just showing you Eastern and Pacific.
And it's Miguel Marcus is out there with a family that had good fortune.
Just wanted to point that out. And 433, I've talked about a lot. 433 is the 84th prime number. Obama was born on 8/4. The word Jesuit adds up to 84. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope. There's a ton more to it. Talked about it so many times, just want to point it out. He walked in at 4:33. It was almost 4:34. And even, like I said, the streak of Nebraska was 343. Michigan had 343 more yards than BYU today. Also, this year on October 4th, or October 5th or 15th, depending on how you look at it, the Gregorian calendar started 433 years ago. It actually started on October 15th, but so the Julian calendar ended on October 4th, and then they started it over the Gregorian calendar on October 15th. And interesting, this year, October 15th, is the 89th Catholic World Mission Day, the WMD, kind of like weapons of mass destruction as well. That doesn't mean anything. I said the same thing last year on the 88th Catholic World Mission Day, but just interesting. It's after the Pope comes and whatnot. So, and also this year's the 239th year of the United States, and the nuclear bombs were made with like plutonium-239. There's a lot to it, but yeah, pointing that out. There's a lot of interesting numbers around his arrival and whatnot. Like, he came to America he got off the plane at 4:04 p.m. The King James Bible came out 404 years ago. The book of Revelation has 404 verses. Pope Francis is ending his trip in Philadelphia, which is in the book of Revelation. So pretty interesting stuff. He also arrived at the White House at 9:23 on 9:23. I mean, that was just a huge significant day or number that we've talked about over and over and over for months now. Anyway, it's funny too. I was looking for the video of him coming out of the plane at 4:04 and whatnot. And the first article that I found, I just pulled it up, and it was this one. And look how long it is. 1:33. Kind of like the same time that he walked into Independence Hall. They even mentioned Philadelphia in this video and whatnot. So, just interesting. Anyway, right after the Pope walks into Independence Hall, they flash over at 4:34 p.m. to this couple from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, it's not Lincoln, but Omaha and Lincoln are they're pretty close together, whatever. Everybody I know in Omaha is a Nebraska fan, except for the occasional Iowa fan, this or that, whatever. It's just kind of interesting that it would be an Omaha couple after they just talked about the Lincoln, Nebraska, or Lincoln lectern. But anyway, I'll just play the clip here. You can listen to it.
Catholic jackpot. I'm staying with Holden and Stephanie Palmer from Omaha, Nebraska. You guys 30 hours down here. You got here at 1:30 on the barricade. And this little angel, just as sweet, how adorable. 6 weeks old. What happened?
The Pope kissed her. It's really that simple.
Yes. They held their child out. They held Felicity out over the barricade. A Secret Service or an agent to her. So how did it happen?
We just held her up and called for the Pope, and he came over and grabbed her.
Your other son here, what's his name? David. Not in the mood, is he? Oh, he's sleeping. He's going sleeping. What's that like as a father to see the God's messenger on earth hold your child in his hand and kiss her head?
It's a special moment. I'm just so grateful. It's a miracle, really. So thank you, God. Yeah, thank you.
There's humble people from Omaha, Nebraska. This is amazing. It is like hitting the jackpot spiritually. How has this hope changed your life before this? And I take it you are never going back now.
I think that it is God who changed our lives, and the Pope is so significant because he's unifying so many people, and he's reaching out to those who are seeking God, and so what a blessing for him to hold our child in his hand.
Well, this little one's going to have a very, very special. That's amazing. We're very happy to meet you.
All right, sorry for dragging that out, but
What now?
just wanted to
We still got a weekend here with the Pope, Mass.
point out that they're from Omaha. I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Maybe there's hope for you yet. Maybe we'll get one for you tomorrow. All right. Amazing story. We saw one other baby get a kiss over here, a few down there, but literally married you along the way here. It's not like other trips where the Pope takes and you have to.
So he kissed all these other babies, but this one in Omaha was just so much more important. It makes no sense whatsoever, you know? Anyway, last thing I want to point out here. Look when he actually gives his speech then. It's at 4:44 in Philadelphia. Just interesting. I don't know exactly what 444 would stand for, but I know that 444 is 1:44 in California, or the Pacific time. 1:44, we've talked about that so many times. I mean, it's all about the 44, and Obama, the 44th president. 444 is literally the mirrors. 44, 44, whatever. Just tons of stuff with it. Even the word Gettysburg, and this is the Gettysburg Address lectern that Abraham Lincoln used. The word Gettysburg is 144. It's also, if you do it as a date, it's the same day that Abraham Lincoln got shot. Even the word 71 that I've been talking about so much lately, 144. That's interesting because Pope Francis was born 71 years after Abraham Lincoln died. Just want to point that out really quick. 71 years before Abraham Lincoln died. Also, this it would be. Oh, hold on, I'll just pull it up. it's exactly 17 weeks or 119 days or 3 months, 29 days before Abraham Lincoln's 72nd anniversary of his death. I mean, all of these numbers are significant. You know, the 911, whatever, 17 weeks, and even 329, like the 923 backwards. The 88th day of the year is 329. I mean, that's some crazy stuff. Nebraska even won with 36 points today, and I'll talk about that again, like I said, but, I mean, interesting stuff. And the 72 just reminds me of, somebody told me that JFK met the Pope on, let me find it here. JFK met the Pope in Vatican City on July 2nd, 1963. And then he died on 143 days later. So just pulling that up real quick, 7-2 to 11/22, 1963. This year's Super Bowl is even on 2/7 or 7/2, depending on what country you're in when you write the date. But I took the day that Obama met Pope Francis, and I added 143 days to it. So Obama met the Pope on 9/22, although he didn't go to the White House until the next day or whatever. That's how they make you think anyway. He met him on 9/22. 2/12 is 143 days away. 2/12 is Abraham Lincoln's birthday. I mean, what are the odds of that? Even if you say that he did meet him after the plane, but even if you go from the day that they had a meeting at the White House, it's 2/13 then for 143 days, which is the first day of Lupercalia in iPad Goat. Obama winks at 1:06, and then he starts whatever, he freaking out, and then the building collapses and all that. And it's all about the Lupercalia even at equals 44. It's the 44th day of the year. Very interesting stuff. Even 4 months, 21 days, like the Queen Elizabeth was born on 4/21. You know, I talked about the Michigan Wolverines. They were sacrificing the wolf. That's why they were so bad. And I thought they were going to have a bad season this year. But the more and more I think about it, if you read through the actual festival, on the last day of Lupercalia is the day that they celebrate the wolf. So Michigan did lose one game, but they're looking pretty good right now. But who knows? I'm still kind of up on the fence of Michigan. I don't exactly know what's going on. I haven't watched enough, even though they used to be my team. So hopefully I'll get to watch the game tonight before I go to bed. I got to work in a few hours, though. Anyway, another thing I wanted to point out really quick, because Obama actually has met other popes as well. So this date doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. I mean, it seems really significant because it's the first time Pope Francis has been to the United States. So that's why it stands out to me. But Obama met Pope Benedict, and he's also met Pope Francis before on March 27th of 2014. There's just so many interesting things. Like, Obama met the Pope on July 10th, 2009. He met Pope Benedict. And Obama didn't even become president until 1/20 of 2009. So you go to the day that he met Pope Benedict, 171 days, like 17 and 71, or the mirrors. 71, 71, depends on how you look at it. It's craziness. If you watch the previous videos, I talked about the Moses connection. Moses is 71. Nebraska is 71. Tons of 71. The 10 Commandments. It's funny, too. A long time ago, I had a video, and I wrote a ton more down than I made in the video, but I talked about how Lucifer is Frank. It seems like they're always referring to Lucifer in movies and stuff as Frank. And Pope Francis, Frank. You know, you get it? And Lucifer is Frank even adds up to 71. And I forgot to mention that this is the Pope that JFK met, Pope Paul the 6th or whatever. And look when he was born, September 26th, like today, the day of the Nebraska game that I've been talking about, the day that Pope Francis gave this speech. Interesting. And look at his name in Gematria, 133 and 52. You just can't make that up. He died on 8/6, and the first time Obama met Pope Francis was on the 86th day of the year even. Thought that was interesting. Anyway, going to leave it at that. Just wanted to prove here it's 1:44 on the West Coast and Pope Francis is tied into San Francisco. But have a